I'm back again to my Media Business, now with our guest, Dr. Eissa Refaei, economic analyst and expert. Welcome, sir, with us here.
Thank you for having you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Our pleasure to have you. And a lot has been happening recently. Every day there are changes, of course, in Egypt. And internationally, things are just taking very strange turns. Suddenly, we just finished with this. We haven't really finished, but we thought we finished with the COVID-19. Then we just went with the variant of COVID-19, and then they talk about monkeypox. And then we also have the Russia-Ukraine war and its repercussions on the whole world. So I don't know where to start exactly because it's really packed, but let's start with, in light of all that, before talking about repercussions or anything like that, the visit of President Sisi to Europe, going to France, to Germany, to Serbia, and talking different aspects, politically speaking, economically speaking, definitely, and of course, putting into our minds that we do have the COP27, which is very important, talking about environment in Sharm el-Sheikh in October. And this is something that important, especially that we see that Spain is reeling under fires, and this is all for the climate change, definitely, and Europe, this is, really very hard. So now we've got everything. How would you like to start? Where?
I totally agree with you. I mean, things happening over the world and in the region are many things and they're happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So challenges are numerous, and the challenges they face every single country, not only Egypt, not only Europe, not the Far East, not America. So it's everyone. Everyone is facing the challenges. And things are, in some areas, a little bit going beyond control. And in some other areas, things are becoming under control of whatever you have been mentioning now. So yes, we have to look at everything and see the effect of everything that is happening and see where there could be some opportunities even with the challenge. So, I mean, it's not only like we have a challenge, so I mean, we have to manage this challenge, how we could get out of the issue, or out of the stress that every country would have. But there's some countries, this could include Egypt, could find some opportunities there. Maybe when we talk together now, we could see where Egypt and other countries could benefit from situations like this.
Exactly.
Yes. So I mean, I totally agree with you. And you have everything that's happening at the same time. You have the Ukrainian-Russian war that is affecting Europe, basically, Russia, and accordingly, we, as Egypt and other developing countries that depend on those countries in different areas. So, for example, you talk about the supply of food that we have from both Russia and Ukraine. And this we get, I mean, we are the biggest importer of wheat from Ukraine. Ukraine is the biggest producer of wheat in the world, and we happen to be the biggest consumer and importer of wheat from there. So if there is limitation of supply for whatever the reason could be, the war, the supply chain that is Ukraine is facing, the transportation, the shipping, this could definitely affect our ability to feed people in Egypt, because this is a commodity in Egypt that has a high priority than other kinds of food for Egyptians. So, I mean, these things need to be managed. I mean, the timing, if you speak about the visit of President Sisi to Europe, the timing is really crucial and important, and it's a move that has come in the right time for many reasons, for economic reasons, for political reasons, for arrangement and liaising the relationship among Egypt and other countries in Europe. I'm sure that other countries will come in the line after you talk about Germany, about France, about Serbia. Other countries would come in the line. But Germany and France are among the biggest and most important countries in Europe. Germany happens to be the first and the largest Egyptian partner for Egypt in terms of business.
Yeah.
So in Germany, They have huge investments in Egypt. Even the trade, intercountry trade between Egypt and Germany, it's reaching almost like approaching $5 billion or euros even. So euro and dollar, I mean, they're becoming almost equal. But I'm expecting that euro would again catch up in terms of strength against other countries, because we all know that the dollars has appreciated in value versus other currencies in the world,
Yeah.
and these other currencies include euro. But you know that Europe now are thinking of increasing the interest rate
Yeah.
on the euro, and that's why this could contribute to increasing the value of euro against dollar. But I mean, coming back to our subject, I mean, Germany is among the biggest countries that Egypt really find to that country to be a good partner, and it's very good to ally with in many aspects, in terms of the intercountry trade, in terms of German investments into the country. So I mean, could you imagine that Germany? There are like 900 German companies, only German companies in Egypt existing and are doing business.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I mean, you know about the quality of German products, and
Yeah.
then there are, we talk about quality, then we talk about certification of qualities. And those certifications allow the businesses and the companies to have quality products. And these products are certified to be exported to different parts of the world. Egypt is a good hub for doing business and take like a center for approaching other markets in the region, and definitely in Africa. It's like the gate for Europe to approach Africa, for
Yes.
example. And you have like other countries in the region that do need Egyptian support. And we're very much ready to help countries. We have very good relationship with countries in the region, whether those countries are really suffering,
Yeah.
or they are not suffering, but they need some support for different reasons.
Of course.
So if you talk about Libya, if you talk about Syria, Iraq, they do need the help, and we're there for the help. I mean, we are almost relieving the developed countries from their responsibility towards those countries that do need the help, because we have the ability and the strength and the willingness and the good relationship with those countries. So, for example, I would expect that the talks between President Sisi and his peers in Germany, in France, to arrange the role of Egypt, the leading role of Egypt in the Middle East, and how we could relieve the burden of those countries from their responsibility towards suffering countries.
Yeah.
Those countries are developed. Those countries, they have the ability to help other countries, but because of what you've been mentioning, the war, the challenge, and Corona hasn't gone yet. Yes, it's demolishing, but it hasn't gone yet. And the monkeypox and even the semiconductors of that are preventing the automotive industry in the world to grow. Not only that, but also a little bit declining.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you speak about Germany, and Egypt is among the big countries that import vehicles from Germany, and also heavy equipment. This industry, this sector of the industry, has suffered because of lack of enough semiconductors. That is really important for whatever we are importing from Germany. So, and whatever Germany is exporting to different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So it is really important to see what countries can do to manage these challenges. So yeah, I totally agree that, I mean, the visit It's very important.
Well, we can talk about the visit and of course expand because the relationship, like, President Sisi, of course, went to visit and foster again ties and, see the new things. But then, we've got relations and we got things happening, of course, between us.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes, definitely. I mean, we have to take our role
Yeah.
in terms of. I'm very proud that every time we talk, there is any economic conferences and forums, political, whatever, President Sisi always reminds all the leaders of the world, in whatever the occasion is, about national security.
Yeah.
National security, people would say that national security is something a little bit doesn't have to do with economy, doesn't have to do with the social aspects of countries. In some events, you would like to develop and empower the youth in Egypt and over the world. So what this national security has to do.
Yeah.
But believe me, it has to do with every single thing that I've been telling you now. Because, you cannot have...
Well, you cannot have any of that if you don't have national
I
security.
totally agree.
Exactly. I really wonder about the people who just keep asking, why are we doing this? Why are just, talking about national security, food. Okay, you have the food. There is, to have the food, you have to just secure
Absolutely.
all that and your resources. What are you talking about?
Exactly. It does. For example, if for a country like Egypt, if we have not controlled
Yeah.
our security, you would have suffered to have tourism in the country,
Of course.
which is like big portion of our GDP,
Yeah.
gross domestic production, of our value added in the country, of our economy. So it contributes to like 1/3 of our economy. Imagine that this sector has not recovered because of what we've been through. So, and this goes to other countries. It replicates to other countries. So, we are supporting Europe, for example, by controlling the unrest that could be exported to the region and to Europe, and also by hosting countries,
Yeah.
or people of countries that have to immigrate from their countries and look for other places to live in.
Yeah.
So we also, people who immigrate from Africa to Europe, and then they don't have enough residency, legal residency, permissions to go there. So we do our part in preventing this to happen to Europe, because it damages the economy, it damages the development of those countries, and this is also part of the talks with the leaders of those countries. So yeah, there are big challenges, that it has big issues that have to be. It cannot be taken by just one country, even if that country is as big and strong as Germany. But it has to talk. It has to be coordinated among the other countries. Every country has to take its part. So Germany, for example, can do its part in supporting a country like Egypt in its financial aspects, in its technology, in like training, and this is part of the opportunities that are good to handle and to take with Egypt and Germany, education and training. So Germany can offer a lot to Egypt, but again, Egypt doesn't forget that we do our part. It's not like we receive the aid, we receive the support, and we sit down and we sit doing nothing. No, what we do is that we do improve the control over. To let those countries do their part. We do control the attack that could happen to Europe. We improve our quality. We open new markets for the European products to go to, because you cannot do everything that is coming directly from Germany or from France or from the European country, or even from England. So those countries, they have significant investments and big projects in Egypt, and there is a reason for that.
Yeah.
They come here because of many reasons that include the geographical situation, the cost that is not as high. the cost of European and America, European countries, America is already high.
Yeah.
And it has become, believe me, it has become, you wouldn't believe that I would tell you that the declared inflation is like 8% or whatever, 6% in other countries.
Yeah.
But the real consumer price increase is much higher than what is declared. It's not because the declared rates are managed. And that's not the reason. I mean, they're not. I mean, the countries. Every country is not declaring a better inflation rate, lower inflation rate. No, that's not the case. But the case is that consumers do face the price increase. If you have the ability to go to other countries, if you compare the prices that you pay to this year with those that you used to pay before Corona, you will in many areas you'll find that you're paying like over 50%. I mean 150%. It becomes, the price becomes 150%. In some cases it's over 200%. For example, if you're a tourist and you want to take flights, the new trend for flights is that there is what they call the economic flights. I mean, the big companies like Lufthansa, Air France, British Airways, Egypt Air, those companies are long-standing and they have their own prices. But the prices of those companies have become like double or triple how they used to be. And for many reasons, for oil prices, they want to recover their losses because they've incurred significant. Some companies would have closed for the Corona, like over 2 years of no business. And now they want to recover the losses.
Of course.
So and you have the oil prices have gone up. So I mean, you will be shocked that the prices, the flying prices have become like double or even 250% of how they used to be before Corona. Now you have the other economic companies that you have new names and you have some old names, but they offer you what we call much better prices. But the much better prices are those prices that are similar of Lufthansa and British Airways and so on before Corona. The much better prices are the normal prices before Corona. Now you go to another country, you have already flown and you've arrived in a different country, you will find yourself like you have to maybe take some transportation, rent a car, stay in a hotel, pay for your food. Everything I'm telling you now has become like 250%, 300%.
As much as it was before, yeah. Oh, that's a lot.
You see, and that's what the other countries and the people in the other countries are suffering. That's and after all I'm telling you, occupancy, tourism in those countries and in Egypt is much higher than they used to be before Corona. Because people have become fed up.
Yeah.
So the challenges, this is what we're talking about, the challenges that we're facing have become opportunities.
Well, that's exactly, that it could be a big problem, but for some other countries you can benefit, and I'd like to talk about this, expand about this more, but after the break. So we go for a short break, after which we coming back. Stay tuned to us, don't go away. We're back again to Money Maker's Business with our guest, Dr. Eissa Refaei. And what we were talking before the break about, well, there are some hard times that everybody is reading under, but there could be very hard times for some people, and there are windows of opportunities for others. So how can we just, apply that to the situation right now, and which countries, and let's say maybe how did we benefit, other countries benefit from the situation?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you for the question. I mean, when there is a situation of like downturn or like there is troubles, world trouble, or even domestic troubles or whatever. So I mean, there is always an opportunity, and the opportunities are more when the the manager or the person who's deciding has more ability. And the ability becomes bigger when you have a bigger organization. And when that organization is a country, abilities are much huge. There are lots of things that you can do. Let me give you an example of a businessman that took the advantage of troubles he came across in his life, and then let's apply this to a country. So for example, there is a man in Egypt here, a businessman, who established a company back in 1935, and that company is a big company now, but by then it was only specialized to produce chemicals that were used in the Second World War. So they were, I mean, there was a war, and they wanted to produce weapons. So there was some kind of chemicals that were used to be necessary for the weapons. So established the company for that purpose. Then the wars become over. And Egypt, I mean, the company was established in Egypt. So Egypt, I mean, was beyond that, and the whole world was beyond that. And then the country had no reason to exist.
Yeah.
But then Egypt needed to be fed. And Egyptian people have started to increase in number. So they discovered that it is possible for this kind of chemicals he's producing in the country, in the company. If you add some phosphate to this production, then you come to fertilization. It's a kind of fertilization that is good to fertile the land in the country. You see, he's taken an advantage of the war. Has I mean, if you talk about his company,
Yeah.
it had no reason to exist. But because there is a development that is undergoing, and you see, he saw the opportunity. There is a development that is being undertaken in the country, and the whole world was looking at Egypt like a cultivating a country. So, I mean, why not increase the area of plantation in Egypt? So the best thing for that is to have a fertilization. And not only that, he had some challenge of moving, because Egypt by then did not have good transportation, moving the product to be used in different, because he wants to develop the area and enlarge the area of cultivation in Egypt. So he wants to move the product everywhere, or
Yeah.
to many parts in the country. So he set up a railway from the south to the north, and along the route there were distribution of the product in different parts of the world. And then he discovered that the area has become being developed. So why not he established a club for the labor and for the local society where the company existed. So I mean this is an opportunity that, I mean, now the company is publicly offered, and it's one of the biggest and the best shares performing and most liquid in the Egyptian stock exchange.
Yes.
If you look at the country, for example, I mean, we could, and every country could look at what countries need, what the world needs, where is the demand that comes, where the shortage that happens in a war, and then you can see where you can contribute if you're able. For example, you have Germany, who is now suffering from the supply of gas from Russia to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Egypt has a good reserve of gas. So, I mean, this could be one of the good topics of talk between the two presidents, Egyptian and the German president, to see how we can help and support Germany in that sense. It's good business for Egypt, and at the same time, it doesn't put Europe and Germany in a weak political situation before Russia, when Russians are waiting for the winter to come, so that they would, in the Russian thinking, they would bring the Germany and the European countries to their knees when it's so cold and they need the energy.
Definitely, that was a harsh season for that, and the big need for that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if the countries, I mean, are coordinating and cooperating, and then you see, that's an opportunity for Egypt, and it's a good rescue. Yeah. For countries like in Germany or other countries, so that, I mean, you can for example, I mean, we were talking about the wheat that is coming from Ukraine, and that's, I mean, we have, it's good, thanks God, we have enough reserve, but I mean the day would come that the war might continue, and then they would start to have some short in the supply with to Egyptians, while we love to eat this kind of commodity. But then the visit of President Mubarak to France, and then France is going to be one of the biggest producers of wheat and exporters of wheat. So that's a good subject.
Definitely.
I mean, that's a replacement of the challenge that we have. So it's a good management. I mean, there is always areas like this. Now you talk about stock markets that are really suffering.
Yeah, but we have 2 minutes to go only. So,
Okay.
so yeah, the stock markets definitely are reeling under that too.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's
Everything is affecting everything.
So as someone who has, you can now go and invest.
Yeah.
You see?
So it's a good opportunity.
It's a good opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good opportunity. And
Definitely.
then, then you can make a profit. And then also you help the other markets, the stock exchange markets, to recover a bit. If everyone is thinking of investing in those countries and take these opportunities to invest more, then the prices and the index could catch up.
Of course, of course. Well, thank you very much for being with us, actually. And as we go along, we'll discover how things are doing and happening, and definitely, we'll just see each other again and again as we monitor the situation. Hopefully, all the best will happen, and the best for Egypt, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. It's a pleasure having you.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you
very much.
And I'd like to thank also our viewers for being there. We'll see you again next week. As of now, God bless Egypt. God bless Egyptians. God bless our army, our white army, our president. And God bless the world. And as we quote from the Holy Quran, ادخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمنين. Enter Egypt, God willing, safe. And from the Holy Bible, Mubarak Sha'bi Misr. Blessed be Egypt, my people. I'm Nermin Nazim signing off. Goodbye for now.